We don't fear of hunger. We never start working to getting money and create a life. If we don't fear of cold, we never build a house. If we don't fear of fire, we never be ready for the wildfire. Fear is the fuel.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for tuning in today. I have one of my really good friends here on the show with us today, Jafar Jafari. Most people know him as Master Jeff. He is a coach, a truth seeker, an entrepreneur. He runs several companies. In fact, we're going to talk about one of his brand new businesses that's just launching now that is going to be life-changing for people and a lot of kids. I originally got to hear him speak on stage at a mastermind we both spoke at, and just fell in love with him and his message and how he gets people to tap into what he calls the zone. He currently ranks under the top 20 Instagram accounts to follow. So head to Master Jeff and follow him on Instagram. And he's also, I mean, he's coached and trained so many people, but he is hailed as the Tony Robbins of Persia in the Middle East. And so I would love to talk to him about that, because that's amazing. So, Master Jeff, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much, Amberly. I'm so honored to be here. First of all, I missed you. So I'm so grateful to see you right now. And I hope to see you soon in the next 2 weeks. We're going to share this stage together. This is another part of me, which I'm so proud to share this stage with you. And I was so excited to be here today.
Yes, I have not seen you. Well, I've seen you through, we do like, FaceTime or text each other, but I haven't seen you in person since we had dinner when I was visiting California, and I got to meet you for dinner in Calabasas with your beautiful family. And that was just so incredible to get to sit and meet your family. And y'all, he's the real deal. Like, you see people that are so super successful, and I'm like, I can't believe like how all this luminous success that you've achieved, but yet you are still like so down to earth and so humble and help so many. And so I just really admire you for that, and for treating me to such an amazing dinner as well. So thank you for that. But I have missed you, and I'm so happy that I'm going to get to see you. We're going to both be in Sundance speaking at a mastermind with our friend Ken Joslin and Randy Garn. So I'm looking forward to that. And you're going to have your family with you. But I would love to know, like, how does that feel? I just saw Tony Robbins in person for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, he was standing right in front of me. And now I get it. Like when you see him in person. And that is how I felt about you when you were on stage and you command the stage. You literally had everybody at the edge of their seats. And if anybody slumped down for a minute, they sat up again. So, how did you become this incredible motivational, inspirational speaker and coach that's hailed as the Tony Robbins of Persia? What was it that you were like, I need to change lives? What inspired you to go after that purpose?
Wow. Thanks so much to describe the whole situation in a dinner and me like that. I'm so grateful for you, first of all. And secondly, uh, you know, I always had one question in my mind. Why people they are attending to so many beautiful, incredible, phenomenal seminars and entrepreneurship event, and they're coming out with a lot of passion, a lot of power. They want to change the world. They are ready to do whatever they want to do. And next 72 hours, they will get back to the same circle as they lived before. What is missing? Because the seminar was great, the event was amazing, the speaker was number one, and people they knew what they want in their life. They knew it in that moment so clearly, and they planned for it. They had enough passion to do it, and they come out next 72 hours. Most of these people they will get back to the routines they had, And I try my best to find out the answer for this question. That was a
You're
trigger point.
so right, though. You're
Yeah,
so right. So many people go to conference after conference after conference, but they don't apply what they've learned.
exactly. I see a friend of mine, he was attending to the seminars, after seminars for the past 8 years, and they still keep going. I said, why you are doing that? He said, I want to try to learn and observe as much as possible because I want to create this idea. I said, when do you wait, when it has to kick in, so when it has to be happening. All of these seminars, all of this great knowledge, all of these great people, they literally transfer whatever they had in their brain to the audience and you, and still you're waiting for something more. I said, you don't need motivation, you need motion. You have to do
Mhm.
some action. So if you are not doing action, you never understand what do you need it in the future, what do you have to add on to the product or services you want to create it. You never know how swimming is feel unless you take off your jacket and jump into the water. So you read the 100 books about swimming, you go to the 100 seminars, how you have to swim and how does it feel. You never get to know it unless you jump into the pool or to the sea to feel what it feels, right? So that was the reason I chase my dream. What can I do? What can I add? How should I do something people they can stay connected and committed with what they created in their brain forever.
Like
It was the beginning of my
lasting
journey. Yeah.
change, lasting
Lasting.
change. So
Yeah.
you were born in Iran
Yeah.
and then moved to Dubai.
Dubai. Yeah.
And how long did you live in Dubai?
It's been a long time.
But
Yeah.
you,
It's
you
a,
know,
yeah.
something that really inspires me is a story that I know, like you were there when a lot of people were like, I am getting out of here. Like the market's crashed, everybody's leaving town, and you stayed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 2007, 2008. It was a horrible memory to the world. So it was
Mhm.
the world correction moment. It was the crash in property industry in the world. So everybody was suffer. So Dubai, I think, if I'm not wrong, they had uh, the most property focus and construction in that zone because they were about developing everything at the same time. So many people they come over there, they're investing in property, they try to live over there, they set up the family, and suddenly within a week, not a month, not a year, within a week, everything is gone. So people there, they are shocked. They didn't know what to do. And the law there is different. In the United States, you have problems with the property, so you file a bankruptcy, or you sell your house,
Short
or the bank company
sale,
has short sale,
bankruptcy.
bankruptcy. So many
Hmm.
things you can do, but there they don't care. You pay the check to the bank to get a loan. They don't care about your property. You have to pay for checks, and the checks there is act as a criminal activity, and then you have to go to prison for that. So if the
Oh,
property market is crash, if you don't pay your bank installment, you go straight to the prison. So that's
wow.
why the town has become like a ghost town. Suddenly, you go out, you see, wow, there is nobody there. They leave the car in the street and they leave.
You're kidding me.
It was like a ghost town, and oh my god, it was miracle. And the government in Dubai, how they make things change and survive and become the one of the best in the world right now. They did the best things ever because the town was empty, nobody was supporting. All the foreigners leave as much as they could because they couldn't afford to stay. They didn't have income and they don't want to go to prison for such actions. So they leave the property, they leave the car, whatever they have, they leave, and they
That
leave the
is
country. Yeah,
wild. That is crazy.
that
So
is
that
wrong.
must have been like really scary to see that sudden change where the markets crashed. And you know what? I think a lot of people are freaking out right now. And that's the reason I'm asking this question is because like the market's not good. People are full of fear and doubt. They're not taking action. They're not working on their mindset. They're frozen, some of them in fear. What do you think it was in you that made you not run or made you not get frozen in fear, but made you go, okay, I can get through this? What was that?
Two things. The first of all, it was I had always something back of my mind said one more time,
Mm.
don't give up. Whatever people, whatever majority doing it, you do the opposite. So it always worked for me. Whatever majority of people does, I do the opposite, and I always get the benefit out of that. But uh, the main reason was fear,
Really?
because I believe fear is fuel.
I love that.
Fear is fuel. If we don't fear of hunger, we never start to work into getting money and creating life. If we don't fear of cold, we never build a house. If we don't fear of fire, we never be ready for the wildfire. Fear is the fuel. If you look at it like that, you say, okay, I'm fear. Yeah, definitely. We are human. We have to fear. We have to scare. We have to have doubt. We have to experience all this feeling. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, in my mindset, when I fear something, I try to find the opportunity out of that. Say, okay, turn the fear into the fuel to do something which majority don't do it.
That is so powerful. I mean, thank you, first of all, for sharing that. Yeah, you had fear because I think often, especially if people are just looking on social media or they're looking at all the media that you've been covered in, or they see you on these big stages, or they read about you in Forbes magazine, they're like, oh, there's a guy who's just not afraid of anything. He is just full of courage and going after it. So I really appreciate that you saying fear, like, yeah, it's human. We all have
Mhm.
fears, but it's all how we look at it. And you managed to shift your mindset to use that fuel, turn it into fuel. My friend Heather Monahan says something about uh, fear is like a green light to go, and we can use that to fuel us to keep moving forward. And I know for me, like, there were times when I was a single mom that was like, I have to book a job, because if I don't get another client, then I'm not going to be able to pay rent, and my daughter and I are going to be out on the street. And so it was a healthy fear. I have a healthy fear of ever taking a drink again because I'm sober. It's like a healthy fear of I'm never going to do that. There's a healthy fear there because
Oh my
I
God.
know where that could
So
lead
good.
me. And so I love that you share that. But how did you get through those moments when there may have been some doubt or some worry, or, did you have a support system around you where you could share your feelings? Did you talk to your wife about this? Your wife is just so lovely.
Thank you.
Did you talk to her about like how you were feeling and what you were going through? Because I know for me, like, my husband doesn't share a lot of feelings. He's, lieutenant commander with the highway patrol. He's retired now, but was very like, suck it up. I don't cry. Like, you know what I mean? And so he doesn't share like a lot of feelings. When he does, I'm like, oh, wow, he just shared his feelings. I love it. But did you share with your wife? Did you have a community? Did you have support?
Uh, let me share something before I answer your question. So I was checking out your Instagram a few days ago, and exactly I see how you answer in interview about the fear of the future and how it helped you to stand tall. So you take the responsibility to be happy
Mm.
after your accident. Nobody else was there to make you happy unless you decide, I want to be happy. I want to have a happier life later. I want to create a better future. I love that interview. So I encourage everybody, if they didn't see that, check out
Mm.
Amber Lago Instagram. It's moved me. It
Thank
literally moved me. And I
you.
feel it. I got a goosebump when I'm talking about it.
Oh,
So
thank
the
you.
fear is the fuel, and it always is helpful if you know how to use it. As Tim Brewer says, night start at 12 midnight, stop, and the day start a minute after that. So if the day start from the darkness,
Mm.
is absolute darkness, is the midnight. If the day start from absolute darkness, why we shouldn't use the darkness of fear to create a better future and brought light up? So to bring the lights
Mm.
up. So If the day is start from the darkness, why we should afraid of fear? Every day morning I wake up after I do my affirmations reviews and do my meditations and gratitude. When I review my goals and fear, because if I don't fear, I don't believe that's my goal. If my goal it doesn't scare me, it's not a goal. So I
Oh
create a
my
new
goodness. I
challenge.
just got goosebumps when you said that because I feel the same way. And it's funny. I always tell my clients, I've told them this like ever since when I used to train clients for fitness. I'm like, do something that scares you every day. And if I am not scared about or a little scared, a little nervous about something, I'm like, uh-oh, what's wrong with me? Maybe this isn't big enough. Maybe, I need to be playing bigger. And so, yes, I agree. I think that, and Oprah says that
Mm,
if it doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough.
it's not big enough. I love that. So I said we are the human, and our brain almost work act as same as each other. Okay, somebody they a little bit smarter. Okay, but it's the function is same. So if you sit in a car and somebody drive, if you sit at the seat beside the driver, if you look at the street, you're scared because you know how to drive, and you want to be in control, and you are not in control. So because your decision is different than the driver decision, so sometimes you're scared. I said if I was there, now I would have put on a brake, put my leg on a brake, or I would go left or right. Why he didn't go? You're scared. But what happened? You
That's a backseat driver. I can be a backseat
yeah.
driver.
So let's say backseat driver. Then what happened? You received the text from your friend. You look at your phone. You look at the say, oh, I'm sharing something on my IG. You go to the IG to see what they posted, and it was important to let you know. Then you go through the different IGs. Then you look back and say, oh, 20 minutes I was checking the Instagram, right? What happened to those fear? It's gone because
Mhm.
you distract your brain. Okay. So the only
Mhm.
things help people to be out of the fear in a scary moment, because this is all illusion. Why? Because we create in some future which is not happening yet, and they start to become worried about something which may not ever happen. So the best things to be out of that feeling and out of that emotion to distract your brain. So the best thing is works for me, and I always tell my friend and people around me to do is said when you're the negative stuff is happening to you, definitely every single day we have to challenge with something with our past or the future which you want to create or the moment we are in it. So every single day we have some challenges. How you can distract your brain to the better way. Focus on your goals and the visions. Focus on what you're capable of. Focus on your strength. Focus on something give you a good feeling and the better future you want to create for you and your family. So immediately distract you from the fear, from the scary moment, from the situation you are in right now. And you developing the idea. So, okay, if this is truly the things I wanted for my future, so I'm going to act right now to make it happen. So once you force yourself to work for the better future, you never stuck in the darkness. The fear become your fuel, and all the element around you help you to create what you already see and you believe for your future. So it's the best distraction. It was a method I used it when I was in Dubai. Said I'm not going to do whatever everybody do, right? So
Mhm.
I'm going to turn it into the opportunity, and all those fear and all those moments, which I was following your husband method. So I'm not a sharing person a lot. So I try to carry the weight of the heaviest stuff by myself and create the laugh and happiness for my family. I
I see
usually
that
don't,
in you. I
yeah, I
see
usually
that. You
don't
do that
involve
with
them.
your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. Like you
Mm,
really do that with your family. Oh my goodness. It was so wonderful to see
thank you.
you with your family and just how, I've got a teenager and I've got a daughter in her 20s, but to see you how you act with your daughters was like, oh, it was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
But I was just sending out this morning. So I have a text community
Mm,
and somebody had messaged me about well, what do you do for the pain? And when you were talking about fear, I sometimes handle the pain in the same way and I distract myself from the pain. I think it's important to acknowledge the fear or the pain, but not to get stuck there. And I think it's possible to build upon the joy and the good things in our life instead of focusing on those things. And I was just messaging back to this person, like, focus on the good, like focus on what you can do. And I think for me, the quickest way to do that is when I get grateful. When I think
Mm.
gratitude really allows me to see the things that I can do and that I do have. And so that is the quickest way for me. For you, you talked about, your morning routine and affirmations. So when you have a moment of doubt or fear creep up, what do you shift your mindset quickly with affirmations, or just by like, okay, let me focus on my purpose again, let me get clear on my vision? What is the quickest way for somebody who's listening to shift their mind off of the doubt and the worry and the fear?
Okay, that was a great question. So yesterday I spent my day with Sadhguru. I really love him. He's one of the persons on the planet. Now he already have effect and influence on over 4 billion people about the environmental change for the soil. So, and he brought the whole nation from all each part of the different countries together to help the soil. Or in the next 25 to 30 years, people they're going to start war because of hunger and food,
Mm,
because land quality is losing itself.
yeah.
You have to be very careful about that. We're literally losing the lands. Okay, and it's not about 1,000 years from now, it's 25 to 30 years from now on.
Is
So
that not crazy? That's
it's
just
crazy.
crazy to me.
Yeah, because it's 8 billion people here.
Yeah.
We are too much. We are good. We are human. We are the best version of everything. God proud of creating us, but we are too much for the supply on the planet. And literally, we are destroying this planet by our hands. Nature don't do that because they are fixing things. If you leave the nature by itself, can stay 1 billion years from now on. But we are as a human, we destroying the nature and we destroying our future, our kids' futures, because we literally don't know what we are doing. So it's not a topic for this conversation, but it would be great if you have time, we can talk about it later. But I was spending time with him and learning a lot of wisdom from him. Regarding to your question, you're asking, gratitude is make you come, it make the land ready to seed what you want to do.
Mm.
Definitely in the morning, I told you, I do my routines, affirmation, and gratitude. So he said something which is really moved me. He said, we are always in a win side. I said, how? He said, because we're born with nothing, even we don't have clothes. Even though today, if we have clothes, we have something more than the time we are coming on this planet. So it means we are always on a winning side. Why people they try to focus on what they don't have? Because you're
Mm.
always on winning side. You have right now you're sitting in your home. We're talking to the Zoom. How the world becomes smaller. We can communicate in. It's beautiful. We are in a winning side. We have food on our table. We are in a winning side. We have clothes. We have family. You know, if anything you have, even you talk to the people who they are homeless, still they have more than what they come with, right?
Hmm.
He opened this topic to say you should be gratitude for what you have right now. And once you start to be gratitude about what you have right now, you feel peace. And once you feel peace, your mind speed is slowed down, and is the best place to create the idea and solve the problem and create the better futures. So this is the fact. Gratitude, as I'm very agree with you, and communicate with God. Okay, it's give you your power and feeling which you cannot compare it with nothing else on this
Hmm.
planet. And the people who they're missing this part, they're missing the big puzzle. They are
I
missing the big
agree.
puzzle
I
because there is
agree.
somebody else can help us to create and do whatever we want to do, and we need it. And why we have to do everything by our own? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. In fact, I did a book club a while back, and I had a lot of women that have a lot of chronic pain and have been diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome like me. They actually joined the
Mm,
book club. And a big part of it, I talked about gratitude. And one of the ladies in particular, her name's Jen, um, she started practicing gratitude and she reached out to me and she's like, Amberly, I just have to tell you, this gratitude has changed my life. And it sounds so simple, but it's so true. It is what has pulled me out of the darkness. Being grateful and connecting with my higher power, who I call God, and knowing that I'm never alone on the struggle. And so I think that is such a powerful way to shift your perspective. And,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that are struggling right now, a lot of people who are scared right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I think that sometimes, we've been through a lot with the pandemic. And it's like, I was just thinking the other day, how I used to have a little fear about COVID. Oh, what is it going to do if it gets me? Wow, wow, wow. Well, I've had COVID twice and I'm still here. I've actually got a t-shirt that says not dead yet. And now it's like, it doesn't scare me anymore. And I mean, I don't mean to sound like I don't, I mean, there's people that have lost their lives and my heart goes out to them. My mom and stepdad have COVID right now. So I know, and I was sick for 2 months the first time I
Mm,
had it. But it's like, okay, I know I got through that hard time. So I know I'm going to be able to get through the next and the next. And I think that's part of it. Like when you are an entrepreneur and you've gone through any struggle, it gives you the confidence that you can get through the next struggle and the next struggle. So, who are some of the people that have inspired you along the way? I mean, has Tony Robbins been a mentor to you?
yeah, definitely. I love him. I follow him. I'm listening to him. And we're going to meet in August, I think 22nd in Dallas.
Are you serious? No, that's where I first
Yeah.
saw him was in
Yeah.
Dallas. My
In
friend
Dallas.
said,
Yeah.
hey, he's going to be here speaking. And it was so crazy. It was a small event. It was, I don't know how it was so small. I don't think it was advertised. I don't know how my friend found out he was speaking. He literally stood in front of us, like in front of me,
Mm.
like looking eye to eye. I was like amazed. Um, and for 3 hours, and let me tell you what it did. So for 3 hours, he was captivating. It like, and I was nervous about this one keynote that I had coming up, and it was, I got to go speak at this event, and it was a 45-minute keynote, and I was kind of getting nervous about, oh, I got to do I'm the main speaker. And I was like, if Tony Robbins can get up for 3 hours and speak, I can get through a 45-minute keynote.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you do conferences where you speak literally all day for hours.
Mhm.
How
12
do
to
you do
18
that?
hours. 12 to 18 hours. Yeah. And it's just 2 days. And because we have a short amount of time. So and that course is designed exactly for the first question you're asking me to help you to find the big puzzle. And, those trainings stay with you forever. So that's why there's a lot of activity involved. There is a lot of information and, wisdom involved. And we literally
And you don't allow them to take a phone or anything in with
we
them. It's
literally
just
live
them.
together for the 2 days. No phone with a dress code. Everybody there look like each other. Nobody's better than anybody else. So, and the beautiful part of that course is the first day we help the people to take their mask off. We help them to take their mask off because we do have a lot of masks we carry with ourselves.
Mhm.
It's just it depends whom we want to meet, where we want to go in society and in loved ones. So we try to have the different masks, and some of these masks stay with us forever, and sometimes become part of our reality. So we don't believe that was the mask. So the first day is the hardest day. We try to take everybody's mask. So we are not supposed to walk on a fire or climb the wall. It's about to face to the reality, who we are, who am I. And then once they find out who we are and who they are, okay, the second they start to build it the way they want it. Okay, that's why we needed them to focus for the 48 hours on themselves. Nothing else. No phone. There is nothing to distract them, only to focusing who they are and what is their purpose for the futures. There is nothing extra than what we have within us. No chemical, no medicine, no drugs. what we need we already have, it's already built in. That's why we are helping them to access to the inner potential zone in their brain, so they tap into it, activate it for the small amount of time, they feel the superhuman power. So it is the most amazing and phenomenal experience and transformation they could ever experience in their life, because you never know how good you are unless you see the full potential of yourself. You never know who you really are unless you see the full potential of yourself. When you see, oh, what is 100% and full potential of me look like, you never could go back to the previous life and live your life the same way.
Yeah. And you said something that I think is very important. You really have people see who they are. I think that's the first part of transformation, is really being in acceptance for who you are and where you are on your journey. Like, what, taking a good hard look at who you are and where you are, instead of taking, having the blinders on, or as you say, the mask on and pretending like you're someone else. I think that's the first step in transformation, which is not easy, which was really hard for me. I was in denial about a lot of my situation. I didn't want to accept that, I had all these scars that I was so embarrassed about. I didn't want to accept that I had to live with this nerve disease and I was going to have this pain for the rest of my life. I was like, this can't be my life. But once I did, I could start to take action steps to make my life the best that it could be. So, what are some of the action steps that you could tell someone today who's like, okay, I'm ready to take the mask off and see me for me, but I don't have confidence to show up and share my message or go after that job or talk to my husband and tell him what I really want, or quit my corporate job and go after my side hustle, or even post on social media? How does someone build their confidence?
Mm, I feel your question. I don't understand it. I feel it. Thank you. So, first, in order to change, you must to know what is the weakness. So you have to be very, very honest with yourself. That's a part of taking the mask off, because if you are not honest with yourself, how do you want to be honest with the world? Okay.
Hmm.
So the best technique is to visit our best friend ever, which is mirror.
Mm.
That's the best friend ever we have, because it never prejudge us, it never judge us, it never, jumping at the middle of conversation, and it is really honest with you, because you look at yourself in the mirror and you start talking to yourself about the things you don't like within you and what you want to become.
Okay, well, you
So
know what though? That takes a lot of courage. I just
that
have
needs
to
a
say,
lot of courage.
because I remember, I mean, there were years. So I was a professional dancer. And before that, I was on scholarship at the dance center with Joe Tremaine. And every day I was at the dance studio every single day.
Mm.
I was in front of big mirrors every single day dancing. And because I hadn't done the inner work and I carried so much shame about sexual abuse and the way everything, like I had just so much pain and shame, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror.
Mm.
I would not look at myself in the
Wow.
mirror. It was really hard. So, what do you suggest to someone who has a hard time even looking at themselves in the mirror? What, just do it? Like, how do you do that?
I should, yeah, I'm totally agree with you. It's need a lot of courage, but that's the first step, because in order to fix the problem, first you have to find the problem. So if you are not honest with yourself to admit what is the issue, how do you want to say, I'm tired of tired, enough is enough, and
Mm.
I'm ready for the better future? So if you don't accept it by yourself, what do you want to change? Nothing, because
Mhm.
you don't admit to it. So what is wrong and what I want to be in the future, how I want to be appear in the future, how I want to be look like in the future. Okay. And it's going to start from now, from the moment you decided to don't negotiate with your goals. You never see any successful people around the globe, you're talking to them, when they set the goal, they start to negotiate with their goals. They never do that. Never. They change their method to reach to the goal, but they never negotiate with the goal. So in order to find your goal,
I
first you
love
have,
that. I
yeah,
love that. That is resilience at its best right there.
yeah.
Like
Thank
there's
you.
always a way to figure it out somehow. I
Figure it out.
love that.
Even though today I'm sitting over here, is 100 different elements, the peoples and the groups, they try to don't allow me to launch my new platform, my new products. They do their best. Okay. I don't see them as an obstacle. I see them as a fuel, which is come from my fear. Okay. They make me fear. I change it and transform it to the fuel to find a different method to reach to my goal, but I do not negotiate with my goal. So we meet each other in January 2022 and we share the stage. It was March. Okay. January, I see Ken for the first time. I was talking to Ken. He said, what are you planning to do? I said, my journey starts from August 6th, from January. So how do you know? I said, because I show him my calendar. So I know exactly every single day, every single month, every single week, what I'm planning to do up for the next 3 years. And I know exactly August 6th, what is going to be happen and my journey going to start. And guess what? We are going to celebrate in August 6th with Ken, you, and everybody to launching my new platform. So we're going to discuss later about it. The fact is, I didn't negotiate with my goals. Otherwise, I had 1,000 different excuses, which was completely convenient and convincible to stop. It's not the right time. Don't do it. It's the correction. Inflation. It's this. It's that. So it's not the right time. I don't negotiate with my goals. I find a different method. How can I achieve it? So first, I have to sit down with myself to say, in which area I'm weak, what do I need to do? And once I admit it and I found the issue, because there is no problem in the world, there is some issues, and how we can solve this issue with a different method. That's it. This is what people they really need to do. So there is no any drug for that or any medicine or any extra than what we have within, which means we have to wake up. Once we wake up,
Yes.
so
Yes,
things
and you
would be
know
different.
what?
Yeah.
And if it's important to you, you'll find a way to do it. And if it's
Yeah.
not, you will listen to all the excuses and you
Yeah.
will come up with excuses and you will listen to the other naysayers and the people
Mm,
who tell you that it's not possible or
so
there's
good.
no way you're going to achieve it. I use all that, the
Yeah.
doubters and the naysayers. That is my biggest motivation. Like seriously, yeah, tell me that I can't because that fuels me up. I'm like, oh good, now I got some more motivation, I'm really going to do it now. But the same, I mean, I'm at a time where I'm launching something bigger than ever. I'm doing my first 2-day in-person event and people are like, you're launching your event but things are crashing, are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, yep, and here's the date. So I'm like that when it comes to like not negotiating your goals. um, Couple of more questions if you have time.
Yeah, of course. That's
Okay.
what exactly what I did. I just sent a text to my team because they're waiting for my meeting. I said, I don't want to leave this
Oh my
conversation you
gosh.
went.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well,
Because
I
I
know you.
love it. I can speak with you for an hours and hours and hours and enjoy. That's why I text them and said, thanks for your understanding. You can enjoy. I send you the Zoom meeting. You go have fun. I'm gonna stay here and
Well, thank you. I mean, I know you are an incredibly, you have an eventful life. Just with all the businesses that you do alone and then your family and friends and all of that and all the events that you speak at. So I really appreciate your time so much. And I know that you're one of the most, genuine, authentic, kind people that
thank
I've
you.
met. And a lot of times, especially in the industry, you meet people that they're not really what they kind of say they are, or, you know, they're different online than they are,
Mm.
in person. And you're
On a
like,
stage, off a stage.
yeah, yeah. And you are just like so kind and so open to share your wisdom and everything that you've learned. Um, so I would love to learn like from you, like How does someone tap into what you call the zone, like their inner power? Does it take 2 days? Or if they're like out there and they're about to walk into a meeting and they're not feeling connected, or they're about to go apply for a job, or they're just needing a little bit of motivation and inspiration to get to the gym, how do they get out of the victim mentality and focus more on being the victor of their life?
Wow. Once you combine motion with action, it's become memory. That's a missing puzzle, which I found out through the time. People, they get motivated but never do actions, so they will lose it in 72 hours. Once your feeling is combined with some action, it's become memory. It will stay with you forever. That's why we never forget our hard moments. Maybe we forget the whole day, but we
Mhm.
never forget the moments. It was good or bad for us, because those moments we mixing the emotion with activity, physical activity. Maybe we cry or do something crazy. That's why it's become our memory, and it will stay with us forever. So what we do, 48 hours, we teach the people who they really are, which even they surprise every single people. Most successful people that attend to our course, the billionaires, millionaires, most successful athlete, they attend to our seminars, and after they came out, said, I wish we could have this seminar, we could have such a seminars a years ago. Now we would have been a different person right now, because now we know, we thought we're living our life to the fullest, but now we understand where exactly fullest means and how much gap we had. So then we teach them how to go back to the same situation with the same feeling less than few seconds. And it is very simple. If we're sitting right now over here, we close our eyes and we start to think about a very freshy, juicy yellow lemon with the fresh smile of that. So we see the activity in our body. Am I right?
Mhm.
I did it. Okay. You just imagine, you just close your eyes, feel okay, you have some taste of that lemon. So it's a start. The same things, whatever our brain believes is happening. So we create the best memory, we hack it in those people's brain about the image they create about themselves. And when they see who they really are, and they just need to close their eyes before any meeting, whatever they want to do, to just for a second feel, oh my God, those moments of their best versions moment. Immediately they get back on a track, they fuel with the power and energy, and they can overcome any obstacles, any problems they face. This is not something it's we creating or we inventing it. It is already built in human's body. It's already there. It is a God gift. So it is like an auto bottom saving life bottom. Okay. So this is a auto saving life bottom, which is already created there. Have you ever heard in the newspaper the housewife was jumping, running faster than the marathon, the person, and catch the kids who was falling from the balcony?
Yeah.
And by the human biological condition, it's impossible to do that. Why is it happening? Because this area is already created in our brain for such a situation when we are in a life and death situation, or somebody whom we see at the same time. Okay. So we become superhuman. We lift up the car, which we never could do that again, or we run faster than anybody on this planet to catch the kids because it is there. But it's designed for us to activate it whenever we are in life and death situation. So purposely, we are helping people to access into it and get in control by will. So whenever they want to reactivate it back.
And does this come quicker to the more you use this, it becomes more easily accessible where you can get into that zone faster?
Definitely, definitely. As much as we exercise, the same like everything else, we are human. So it's going to be the quality and to access into it to become faster and faster and faster. But it started from 10 second to 5 or 3 second. But it's not a long procedure. So once you tap into it once you feel it how it is look like, and once you learn how to access to it by will, so you can reduce the time from 10 to a few seconds, but it is always there. You're
Yeah,
going to live with it forever.
I think people want to everything faster, faster,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's the
we are
world we
human.
live in right
We
now.
are human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have a couple more questions for you. First of all, what are you so Ken has asked me in Sundance to speak on the fitness aspect of it, where
Mm,
I have not talked about fitness. I mean, I was a personal fitness trainer for 26 years. And, I've spoken to UCLA, their dance department,
mm,
about fitness and injury prevention. And I used to teach a trainer certification preparation course. So it's in my DNA. Like I'm gonna just, but to be honest with you, I haven't put together my talk yet and it's next week. So I'm just curious, what did Ken, I mean, he just told me not a few days ago, yeah, you can talk about the fitness aspect of
mm.
entrepreneurship. What are you speaking on at the mastermind in Sundance?
I'm gonna speak about how to wake up and create a better version of yourself. And I try to. It depends how much time we have. I try to give them some example and physical activity as well. So this
Love
is what
it.
I'm
I
planning to
can't
do.
wait. I can't wait for that.
And you see those activity in a sport, perspective, you're gonna love it because it's so simple. Is make them healthy and make them to wow unleash their power, and they're feeling great less than a minute.
Yeah. And we were talking about before we started recording. I love that you're like, we have a triangle.
Yeah.
And now your newest big exciting thing you're doing
Mm.
is something with nutrition and helping children at the same time.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about this triangle for
Mhm.
optimal health? Because I think it's so
Mhm.
important if we all focused on that. Then I want to hear a little bit about your nutritional
Mhm.
company and what inspired you to start this.
That was my amazing journey. I love it because when I found out the third cause of death is the modern medicine and pharmaceutical medicine. So because those pharmaceutical medicine is not created to cure something, they just stop your pain or your diseases or problems, and they start to expand it. Okay, that's why you cannot stop immediately those chemical medicine because it's going to damage you a lot more. So this is a huge topic in hours. We
It
can speak
is.
about it. I make it short.
And
Yeah.
and I have to say this really hits home because my stepdad just got out of the hospital. They
Mm-hmm.
had told him to stop taking this one medication for his congestive heart. It was like a congestive heart failure
Mm-hmm.
kind of medication, and he almost died.
Yeah.
And it was all because he's on
Unfortunate.
one medication, then they take him on another, and I don't know if you know this, but at one point I was on 11 different prescription medications
Mm.
until I was like, screw this. So I am very passionate about this topic. I just had to say thank you for choosing to do this.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working on it?
It's this August is 13 months. I'm working on it. So my first conversation was July 2021 about creating this platform and adding all these nutrition and supplement to help the people to understand. It's aligned with my course. So I'll teach them you don't need anything extraordinary and you don't need anything externally to feel good, to be happy, to be powerful, to feel excited. Okay, you're joyful, everything is already designed there. You just need to activate it. Just be in control on your brain. It's only 1 feet from this ear to this ear. This is your whole board. This is control everything. So as much as you believe what you want and what you can be in here, so you can see it in physical terms. So, and then I found out, oh, okay, we don't need chemical medicine, so our body can regenerate a vitamin and the stuff, the raw material we needed, as long as we know what kind of type, genetical type we have and what kind of raw materials we have to top up to into it, and then we can be fixed up to over 90% of the problems which people face to right now. Is it logical? Is it even works? Then when I we try to work on it and say, yeah, it really works. And there is so many big celebrity on the planet, so I cannot use their name right now. They're working with us and they're so happy. So they're getting result. And I said, why not? Why we are not create a platform to help people, every single people to understand it? The people problem is not about we don't have money or we don't have those facility to access into it. They don't have knowledge. They don't know it exists. They don't know how to use it. Once once I start to speak to the people around me, everybody, getting excited, and they start to work on the breast work, to work on the supplement, the nutrition, which is specially designed for them. So even though these days they can run your blood test and according to your DNA create your cosmetic creams and stuff for you,
Yeah.
because we are the human and every human are different. So they said let's work on it. And but I said we need to add a purpose to our products and the platform what you want to create, because it's not all about that triangle which I told you, that in order to have life of happiness you should have three elements, health, wealth, and love. So the health, we already creating the product with the best quality we can provide to the people, and we try to do it as best way as possible. The wealth, we create a platform as a home based business helping the people without investment to can create up to 8 figure per year for themselves. And for the love, once you have the healthy life, you have a wealthy life. You just need to have the healthy mentality. Mental health is very important, which is our course is going to be pop up there. We help them to be stay in a right track with the mental health, and this triangle would be shaped, and people they can feel life of happiness. But what is actually happen if I'm a person, I have good health, physical health, and I have enough amount of money, and I have a good love line in my life, there is still something is missing. It cannot be only me. If the people around me, if the people on the planet, they don't feel that, there is something missing. I had the article, which I read the article, it mentioned this year itself, 360,000 kids will die. Not, this is some assumption, they will die because of hunger.
Wow.
The normal food we have at our table, and 62% of the food in United States itself is going to be vested after it's cooked. They cook up to 62%, they throw it out.
Mm,
And 360,000 kids will die because of hunger. And if
that's
we
so
sit down
crazy.
there and feel there's a government has to help, they are human too. Maybe they have some other priority to work on. We cannot sit down and say, okay, we count on here and there. We are human and we have to act as a human. So I want to be the part of the journey which our company could help as much as possible these kids. Okay. I know so many big players, they are concerned about the pollutions, the getting the carbon from the air, spending hundreds millions of dollars to have a better environment. Okay, I'm as a person, as a human, as a citizen, what can I do to serve people better? So
Mm,
we add the purpose. So the portion of our income, a slide of our income is injected directly to the organization who helping these kids.
that's
And we're going to keep
amazing.
it as our mission, is our purpose, not for now, forever. And whoever journey to our community, we want them to feel we are not alone. And if anybody hurt some other place on the planet, it's hurt the humanity as well. So it's not only our table, it's not only our home, it's our earth, and we have to take care of each other. So I start to play my roles to see what can I do, and I hope people in any way they can help each other, they do. Don't only consider on the government or the parties or big players to do something. We are as a human, if you can do one thing's good per day, we can change the future for everybody. That if you
Oh,
have time, 1 minute, I want to share a story with you.
yeah.
It was the boy was walking beside a beach, so I wrote this long time ago, and he sees the millions of the starfish coming off the sea, so they're dying at the beach. So he tried to throw them back one by one into the water. Then the old man go to the boy and said, what do you do? So I'm trying to save the starfish. And he said, oh, my poor boy, you look at here, there's millions of starfish down here, and you cannot help all of them. And the boy didn't say anything, just sit down, take another starfish and throw to the water. He said, at least I saved one. If
Oh,
we have this mentality, even one starfish we can save. Just imagine 8 billion people can do one good things a day, the world would be different.
oh, that's so true. I just love your heart and your generosity and your willingness to like step up and help. How can people, well, I can't wait to hear more when I get to see you in person
Yeah.
about this and learn more from you. But how can people start to help, where can they find out more about this?
They can always find me on my IG. This is the main thing I'm focusing on now. Starting my YouTube and my Facebook recently, but they can connect with me with the Master Jeff official on my IG. So through our website, the pscacademy.com or buildgoal.com. So these are the three places they can communicate and connect with us. So we're going to start our journey from August, and I hope we can be helpful and we do something good. At least we save one fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Build Goal, y'all,
Yeah.
GOAL.
Yeah.
And it's Master Jeff Official on Instagram. You're going to look and see how legendary he is. I mean, I know you just heard him,
Thank
so
you.
you know that, but go follow him on Instagram and send him some love. Tell him you heard him on the podcast. In fact, take a screenshot if you're listening on Apple or any of your favorite, maybe it's Spotify, maybe you're watching this on YouTube. If you screenshot it, I didn't do my hair today. But
You are beautiful.
screenshot it. I'm like, it was like, go to the gym or, do my hair. I was like, go to the gym and just jumped in the quick shower. So take a screenshot, share it, and tag me at Amberly Lago Motivation and Master Jeff Official. When I see that you've tagged, I reshare that in my story, and I appreciate you listening. And Master Jeff, it is so good to see your face again. I can't wait to see you in person. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so excited about all the things you have coming up, and any way I can support you, just let me know. I'm sure we'll find out more when I see you at Sundance. But thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank y'all for tuning in.
Oh, thanks so much for inviting me. Before I finish here, I just want to let the people know you should and you must to believe you are the one. And there is always the one person who wake up and awaken can change the world and can change the whole family generation tree. So believe you are the one and try to find out what is your gift and what's your superpower. Thanks so much for having me, and I hope to see
Oh,
you
I love
soon.
that.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'll
thank
see you
you.
soon.
See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.